Many thanks to one original DayZ servers, Classroom servers, Sgt. Pepper servers, Sea of Tools Cloud, We The Remain Roleplay, DayZ Sentinel servers, the Struggle Community, the Karma Crew servers, and DayZ Kraken leaderboards for making this video possible. This video contains the only 4 loot routes you will ever need on Sakhal, guiding you from a lowly fresh spawn to a stacked Giga Lord in the most efficient way possible, highlighting the best buildings and most slept on structures for bonus loot to ultimately take advantage of everything that Sakhal has to offer. With all 4 of the loot routes I'm about to show you, start by finding warm clothes in the village or town that you spawn in, cutting up trash gear for rags to make rope for fishing, cooking that food while warming up, and filling up at water springs marked in blue with the red marks showing the player spawn points suitable for this particular loot route. Starting at the spawn points in the northwest here, Svetskoy is a port village with small houses for clothing, a medical building, medical tents and military tents. This area provides a very high chance of finding a gun and magazine by the time you leave, or at least some good clothing and medical gear. Next you want to head west along the concrete road, watching for any police cars that can spawn here for some very easy police loot, and keep going until you get to the tier 3 capital city of Petro for even better loot. Petro has some of the highest insulation gear on the map, even better than military gear with the insane number of spawn points in this location. If you're already equipped with warm gear though, check the guard houses and the tier 3 police station for police loot, then cross a small river over the bridge to the Luna Park that has loads of hunting gear spawns and high powered rifles. If you need medical items from here, the hospital up the road from the church is worth a visit, along with the industrial buildings behind it such as the garages. They spawn medical loot too. More medical spawns can be found in the dock area, which is right next to military tents, a heli wreck and some seriously slept on wooden crates. Every time you see these crates, you will get gear that others have probably missed. After this, travel south to Borokan. This is the entrance to Borokan where some juicy tier 3 military loot awaits. Sandbag fortifications near the entrance to Borokan have another one of these wooden crates, which marks the first tier 3 military location, so you're probably going to find something good here. Vehicles, sheds and other structures along this road into Borokan also contains military loot, and even an abandoned village to the right on this road is stacked full of tier 3 military gear, as is another nearby village. If you follow the same road, you will find this village on the right side too. Next to this second abandoned village, you will see the mini radome on the hill, which has loads more of these wooden crates near this truck, and on the other side of this hill is Westport, the final stop on this loot route, where you'll also find loads of gear too. This loot route is the shortest of the 4 and rewards the best loot potential versus time spent looting on Sakhal, making it the most efficient loot route there is. For the 12 spawns in the northern area, secure the basics and head to the great town of Severomorsk. This town offers amazing starting loot with a medical building, a Tizzy HQ with tier 1 military gear, a fire station and a police station flanked by these guard houses which also spawn police loot, with a massive bonus of having military and medical tents at the dock. Just after the tents in the dock area, follow these power lines up the hill and you will get to the radio station. Although these towers don't have any loot inside, the main building is absolutely rammed for the police loot, which is untouched every time that I've been here. Heading right down the hill as you're leaving the radio station, cross the valley to reach Lick military base on the other side, loaded with tents, military containers and a heli wreck too. Once you've got your feel here, exit south along the road but continue straight when it bends to the right. So this road, when it bends to the right, just go straight through these trees and it will lead you to the hot spring to warm up at. Down the hill from this hot spring is a dirt road, and as long as you keep travelling downhill in the direction of this road, you'll eventually get to the capital city of Petro and all the juicy loot that awaits there, joining you onto loot route 1 to continue to Borokan. The next loot route is the hardest one but also the most rewarding, getting you some of the best weapons possible without a lot of effort, covering these player spawn points here. Again, get the basics to survive and head to the town of Rudnogorsk nearby. Here you'll want to loot the police station located on the west side of the town and the fire station area located on the east. The fire station isn't the prize here. The real loot is located in the car wrecks and the fire trucks outside, and especially on the dock area here, with this area being one of the most loot heavy locations on Sakhal. You're almost guaranteed to get great gear here from the containers and the tents, with this crane also spawning a lot of loot, but you'll need to focus on getting warmer gear as we're heading to the mountains next. From any location inside Rudnogorsk, look for the tallest peak that you can see, head towards it and you will find a dirt road just southwest of the town. Follow the road to the right here, heading towards the same peak that I just mentioned a moment ago, and follow this road all the way to the top to what I call base camp. Loot everything you see here, including the heli, sandbag bunkers around the outside, and especially these lab buildings, which is where you'll very likely find some briefcase keys. Heading towards the volcano, follow this road marked with these wooden posts, and at the hairpin turns in the road there are 5 spawn points for the frozen scientist. Only one of these frozen scientists will spawn at any one time, and if you don't find him here, follow the volcano's curve around to the east side to this lab, the same sort of laboratory structure you saw before, where more keys are found if you don't have any. Follow the road down from here to the remaining 5 places that he can spawn, with the road to the left signifying the end of his spawn points. If you don't find him at all, he respawns every 30 minutes in one of the 10 spawn points that I just mentioned, 5 here and 5 here. As long as players are not within 500 meters of this spawn point, he will respawn. Inside the briefcase are extremely useful items, with the glow plug being the best one. Whether you found him in his briefcase or not, follow the road to the west, the one where his spawn points end like I said earlier, and take a right to get to this wooden bridge here. Follow the direction of this bridge in a perfectly straight line and you will get to Lick Military Base through these trees, the one that I mentioned during Loot Route 2. From here you join Loot Route 2 to the capital city, and if you found a glow plug which also spawns in all industrial locations on Sakhal, the south entrance has some gas which you'll very much need. Fill up a container no smaller than a cooking pot if you're solo, or a water bottle or canteen if you have at least one squad mate with you, then follow Loot Route 1 or 2 to Westport in Barakan. Following the only road south from Westport, take a left after this camo building and follow the road to the right to get to this industrial building that's on the left. Inside the room with the generator you can see a tower in the distance, a red and white one. That is where you're going to need to head towards as soon as you switch the generator on, as this beast drains gas extremely quickly. So fill up the generator, place the gas plug, switch it on and quickly pull any lever, any of the 4 doors would do. Run as fast as possible towards the tower. Running past the tower you will see a bunker to the left side. Go inside and loot the room that you opened. A cooking pot full of gas will last 4 minutes, giving you a good 1 to 2 minutes of time to loot this room or deal with any infected on the way. But if the door does shut on you, a relog will spawn you inside the main area of the bunker. If you have a squad mate with you, have them stay in the bunker while you open the doors, giving you 30 seconds to loot each room with a full water bottle or canteen of gas, making sure to close the door before you open the next one to avoid shorting the generator, which will waste time. If you need more gas, more can be found in southern Barakan here, just north of the fire station, which is also where some great gear spawns too, ending the best loot route of the 4 on this list, because you'll end up with loads of high tier ammo, an SVD or probably an AKM too. After covering the basics when spawning at these 9 remaining spawn points on Sakhal, make your way to the town of Aniva. The dock area here is packed full of loot, including medical and military tents, with these 2 cranes also spawning loot and these 2 industrial buildings also spawning military gear. The short road from the dock leads straight to the police station, then following the road up the hill will take you to the fire station and a guardhouse that has police loot too. Continue up the road or uphill, then take a left at this dirt road and then take another left soon after, getting you to this tier 2 village, which is oftentimes untouched and full of residential and medical loot. Continue along the road that you used to get here and take a right up this snowy road between these trees to reach Ice Ridge Military, a tier 2 military location with plenty of gear. This military camp has 2 exits once you're done here, one to the northwest and the other one to the southwest. The southwest route will get you to the next location faster, but the northwestern route will lead you through some hunting gear locations if you want to get some hunting gear, spawning all this gear in villages as you pass through them as you circle around to the next location, which is a town of Nagovo. Once at the town of Nagovo, there are 3 good buildings to loot right next to each other: the store, the medical building and the police station. The road to the side of the police station will take you straight to Nagovo airfield. Don't follow the bend to the right, just continue straight and you will make your way through the trees to the tents on the other side of the airfield, which is very loot dense. Once you're done with this area, head to the tents on the other side of the airfield to the south, and don't forget to check the wrecked helis either, these are good, and these wooden crates inside this large hangar building to the south side, they're also good. At this point you should have pretty good gear, but there's still room for upgrades found in Barakan, so follow the coastline at the airfield to the south along to the west and you will eventually find the entrance to Barakan, joining all the other loot routes together in this video. This final loot route is my personal favourite one, as I always become nicely geared before heading into Barakan, which is highly recommended, I would say, probably because fewer players travel through this southern interior of the main island, and I believe fewer people search the Nagovo airfield because they just go to Barakan instead. If you are lucky enough to find a boat that isn't being hoarded by other players, I haven't been so lucky recently, you can do the Outer Islands loot route for military containers. They spawn a lot of great gear, but it's simply too unreliable to find the boats on popular servers, so these 4 loot routes I would say are the best ones. The 5th loot route is the container loot route, but again, the boats are quite difficult to find. If you wish to learn more about loot on Sakhal, this video is highly recommended to find all the best guns on this map, or you can find any piece of loot on this map or any map with this tool that I made. A big thanks to Lego Spartan and Sosa for the $10 donation recently. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.